Welcome back, everybody, to the Jits Guy podcast. I am hyped for today's episode. This is completely off track, off beat from Jiu-Jitsu, but I think it can end up being super relevant. And I've known this gentleman for a while now on Instagram. We've always been chatting back and forth, so I cannot wait to introduce you to Maciej. Brother, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the chance.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I love what you are doing. I love it when I see somebody doing something so outside the normal and passionate about it and with not, excuse my French, one fuck given. And that's the right attitude for business. I like that, man. I hope there's more people like you.
Yeah, there are. Maybe not so many in the GCC, but around the world, there are plenty of guys.
Good to hear, man.
And girls, of course.
Yes, interesting. We're going to get into that a lot. So, Maciej, am I saying it correctly?
It's Maciej.
Maciej. I'm so sorry. Maciej. All right. So in Polish, the C is a ch.
Yeah, it's depending on how it's written and the pronunciation. So yeah,
Maciej.
it's yeah.
I get you. And your last name, please help me with this one.
It's Ryszkiewicz.
Ryszkiewicz. Okay, so Maciej Ryszkiewicz.
Yep. Good.
Excellent. All right, good. I like to know people's name properly, man. So, Maciej, tell me something. How long have you been in the UAE?
In the UAE, I am almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And before this, were you in Poland or elsewhere?
Yeah. In Poland, traveling in our mix of sports fighters, there is a calling called fight and travel.
Okay.
So I was fighting and travel a lot abroad, but mostly living in Poland.
So this has been a lifestyle for you. This is not something that was a hobby. Like, this is what you do.
Oh yeah. From almost the beginning, it's a passion, hobby, lifestyle. And making business of it,
Interesting. So okay. So for everybody listening and tuning in, if you checked out the Instagram stories and you saw what Maciej is up to and what his world is about, great. But for those that haven't, could you explain to us what you do and what is this very interesting world you're a part of?
Well, what I'm doing is, in one quote, sword fighting, hitting people with the swords and not get killed.
Aha.
So it means a little bit brutal, yeah, but it isn't. So our club, because we have a club in Abu Dhabi, is concentrating on the modern types of swordsmanship. So there are some disciplines that are in this the saying. For example, HEMA, for example, HMB, for example, MSF. So the terms are basically, it's very long. Historical European martial arts, that's its HEMA. Historical medieval battles, this is the armor fighting. And MSF, it's like a training type and also sport fighting for children.
Modern sword fighting, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the history is long about it, but if you have any kind of question, I can also explain that.
I have a shitload of questions, if you don't mind. So, how does somebody get into this growing up? Like, is this something that you were into as a kid or as an adult?
Not really. First of all, everyone around the world, took a stick and wanted to fight with a stick. I think every boy wants it.
Very true.
Yeah, so everyone is having from the childhood this kind of passion, and don't know that he's fighting with a sword. For him, it's a stick. Yeah, but eventually, for me, it started when I was 21. It was, I was old. You can say from the sporting terms to start.
Wow. And what kind of background did you come from before you started this?
Physical education and football, basketball. Just this background.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's a good background to have. Okay.
Yeah. And I was seeing people who were training with swords, and for me, there was like crazy, like how it's the term, not noobs, but nerds.
Yes, geeks and Dungeons and Dragons and all of this stuff.
Yeah. But when I tried it, it's another ball game. It's like a real sport. How you can start it? for me, for example, it started from watching films, first of all. From watching, for example, Last Samurai, it starts.
Oh, wow. Me too. Okay. This is a big favorite.
Yeah. From that, I was the mentality of a warrior. Yeah. The Bushido code.
Yes.
And the mentality of getting better. And especially in swordsmanship, this kind of thing. So that's why I lost Last Samurai. I wanted to go to a class of Yaido, it's called, to train.
Yaido.
Yeah, to train Japanese swordsmanship. But I realized that I had a friend that is in a reenactment group.
Okay.
Friends, and they told me, we have a reenactment team. Come on, see the training session, and maybe you can join us and train with us. And back then I was 21, and I was from the first session, and from the get-go, I had the backgrounds in sports, and from the get-go, I really like it as a sport.
I see.
And I can fight with a sword, metal sword, and nobody get injured, nobody get go to the hospital after the training session.
Essential.
Yeah. So it started from that, and from the reenactment, I go to the tournaments. I go to the levels of the knowledge of the reenactment team, and started fighting with the it's called early medieval times guys with the Vikings, with the Slavs,
I see. So if I can stop you there, when you say reenactment, is this?
Yeah.
Now, excuse my ignorance with this. Like, there's a lot of these organizations where it's like a restaurant, you eat chicken with your hands, and there's sword fighting happening in front of you. Is this what you're talking about? No. Okay. I'm sorry, bro. This is all I know.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean, and this is the first thing that the people are thinking. And I will also add you. They are thinking not only about that; they're thinking about the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting into this shit, by the way, whether you like it or not. We're talking about Jon Snow, and if he knows nothing.
Yeah, I know. Also fan. Whatever.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a tournament where you reenact history, living history. Yeah. So it's not only that you training be a warrior, but also you have clothes that replicate the time period. Yes. And basically, it's not only for you as a tournament, but also it's for the spectators. And also, it's in the background of a castle in Poland, because we have a big history in Poland,
of course.
Medieval history. So, and great, really. And the lifestyle, every evening you have like parties in medieval clothes, and you're thinking that you are in the time period,
Wow.
So,
all right.
Yeah, and it's like a brotherhood. It's starting to develop.
I can understand, of course.
Yeah, but for me, it was the fighting. For me, it was the fighting in chainmail, in helmet, with the sword. So for me, it was mostly that focus.
I see. So where did this originate? Like, obviously, this is medieval times, but I mean, like, the modern version of this. Which country first was like, let's do this shit, man. Let's get in chainmail. Let's grab a sword and start fucking with each other.
Yeah.
Like, where did this start?
I have the thought that it started from like 70s in the 20th century in England, when they
makes sense. Okay.
That people got around castles doing a lot of interesting things for the public, and then it was growing. Of course, everyone can judge me if I know better, but then it came to Poland, it came to Russia, it came in other countries to reenact some historical things at that place. Yeah, for the spectators. It can be also a patriotic thing. For example, in Poland, we have a very big tournament. It's called Grunwald tournament, and it's one of the biggest reenactment events in Europe.
Incredible.
It's almost like 500 to 1,000 knights, reenacting the Battle of Grunwald in 1410.
Shit. Yep. Does it change in history who wins during these battles, or
no?
They stick to the script?
We always beat the Germans.
Okay, man, listen, I'm loving something. Just so happens that the countries that started this and really picked this off are also the heaviest beer drinking countries. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. We are drinking a lot. Even the award for in the tournaments is like big, cast of beers for the
I
guys.
knew it, man. I just imagine the perfect combination is beating the shit out of each other in chainmail and then having beer with each other to celebrate. That's perfect, man.
This is the thing. This is the thing with the brotherhood that we mentioned.
Oh hell yeah!
We are fighting. Fighting in who last man standing on the feet.
Okay.
And then we go drink beer with each other and have a really laugh and just the conversation is very odd because when I said you hit me so hard, I got this, I know, but you get me with that, I fall down, and this like this kind of conversation.
Oh, that's
and
so beautiful.
The bond it's creating.
Man,
even if you are not speaking even English, it's an American speaking with Russian that he don't know English, he don't know Russian, and they are having a good time. So
100%, man. And this is the thing. Like, Maciej, this is why I thought this conversation would be so interesting, because everything you're saying sounds familiar to me, minus the swords. Because in martial arts in general, one of the things that made martial arts so powerful around the world, judo, jiu-jitsu, karate, sword fighting, battles even before, it developed a strong bond between people. You cannot deny when you fight with people and you unleash a form of aggression or tension against another human, it deflates the tension between you and you automatically just become friends. And even in the greatest battles of history, it's been recorded, and some of the greatest wars, even with rifles, which by the way reduced this impact, because hand-to-hand combat, impact combat brought this out more. In history, there has been many a times where enemies would go to war so fiercely and then end up friends and allies because they just released that tension. There's a psychology to this.
True. Even there is a history between Poland and the Ottoman Empire that the Ottoman Empire had a big respect for the Polish troops and for general from Poland because they were fighting a lot. Respect was mutual, and when the ambassadors were meeting each other, it was like great friendship, not like friendship, but respect.
Yeah, mutual respect because of this is the thing. What I found out is, first time you send me a message and we start talking, I check out the Swords Fencing Club in UAE. It looks interesting. Listen, I am the person to always support something new. There's so many people out there, they don't even have time for new shit. They're like, screw this, I'm too busy with my accounting. I love this stuff because, man, the most growth, the most expansion we experience in our lives are on the things that make us feel intimidated or awkward. These are the things that really make us grow in life. And I was so interested because at the beginning, I'm like, is this role-playing? Is this people poking each other with sticks? Then I see some videos online and people bleeding. Like, what is the line between enacting and actually hurting? Is it damaging?
There is no line. There is no line because you are going full force. And there is no acting with what we are doing. It's...
is there strategy? Like, is it a general and be like, okay, our strategy today is that we're going to flank them from this side. We're going to, like, this is what you're actually... Like, you're planning on beating them.
Yeah. Where to start? This is the question, because when I want just to get the essence of it.
Let's start individually. The individual learning a weapon. How many weapons are we talking about?
Oh, a lot. So there is first of all, maybe this category: one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, polearms, and also shields. Shields, okay, you can punch with the shield.
Clear.
Yeah. Okay. So the most damage is done by the two-handed polearms.
Yes. Okay. So but they're not good for close range.
They are not for closer. Close range is beating with the shield and with the one-handed weapon or mace.
Nice.
Something like this, yeah?
Okay.
But for this madness, there is also the solution, because we have rules.
Okay.
For example, the general rule is like this. Last man standing on your team is the winner. Yes? Okay. So you are getting the guy down to the ground. And of course, you cannot use, for example, stabbing. You cannot do arm bars locking like this. Yeah. But other techniques, like for example, judo throws, techniques, kicking to the legs and getting him down, allowed. Any kind of slashing, hitting the armor allowed, besides thrusting. And last man standing, last man brutalize the other one is the winner.
So when their hands touch the ground, that's counted as they went down?
Yes.
Or is it just their knees?
It must be 3 attach points to the ground. So it must be leg, 2 legs already we have, but if it's 1 arm on the floor, you must get down.
Clear.
So 3 points.
Interesting. And the weapons, the swords, they're blunted, obviously.
Of course. It's 2 millimeters, at least 2 millimeters of thickness of the blade. So of the edge.
I see, and because like I saw some of those battles, and you got 150 on each side. You have refs checking each and every bastard coming in.
I will tell you the biggest battle that I had. It was maybe 30 versus 30, and that one 150 versus 150. It's like I imagine it's a chaos. They try to make some. Rules, and because it was first time they tried it last year.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. Other years there was like category all versus all. How many lights it will be was fighting, but this time it was great because there were like regiments. Everyone has a banner, and I think regiment has a judge. So a lot of judges, a lot of guys, chaos, mayhem, but it's really fun. It's really pure adrenaline.
Interesting. So I chose my specialty. Is it a specialty, or you can be a man of all trades?
You can be a man of all trades. You can have a specialty, but also you have the tactics on the battleground. For example, it's like terms like from the games Dungeons & Dragons. One is like a runner. Second is like a tank. And there's an overall guy that can run and also hit.
Okay. But no healers.
No.
Thank God.
But there are guys that pass on weapons when you drop a weapon. You cannot take the weapon from the floor.
Interesting. So if you dropped your weapon, that's it.
No. You must run to the bench that is on the other side of the list. There is a guy giving you weapons, and he's giving you weapon, and you must grab it and come back to the fight. You cannot fight without the weapon.
I see. And is there an organizational structure to the team? Is there like a general and I don't know what? Okay, so it's just like a battlefield.
Battlefield. It's more like I imagine, like for example, American football kind of strategy. There is a coach. There is like a bench with guys to substitute. So it's like this also, but also it's like war.
Do you have amateur level and professional level, or is it just so far amateur?
Maybe I will say a little bit about the organization. So we have 2 international organizations.
Okay.
One is HMB AI, and the other one is, I always get it wrong, CF, it's called International Medieval Combat Federation, something like this.
I fucking hate those acronyms, man. They need to make it easier, bro.
Yeah, it's not easy. And also some are translated from Russian that makes no sense in English.
Exactly. I get you.
So, but we have 2 international organizations. One is the level down, another is a level up. So the HMBAI is the best of the best. If you want to be the world champion, you must go there and beat all of them.
World champion as a team?
Yes, as a team, and also an individual. So we have also duels in different kind of weapons.
I like this, man. I like this. Did you, and now I know I'm going off on a tangent here. PlayStation 4 and Xbox not recently, 2 years ago, released a game where it's either a Viking, a knight, or a samurai. Do you know which game I'm talking about?
I know.
Honor, yes, 100%. Did you like this?
Yeah. I didn't play it as a historical geek a little bit. I don't like it, the history accuracy.
I see, because it's just fiction and witches and stuff. I actually played this. I enjoyed it, man. Like, this is why when we got in touch on Instagram, you weren't from a different world totally. I grew up as a gamer. I loved the Final Fantasies. I loved a lot of the classic games that involved knights and axes and stuff. So this is why I have this interest in what you're saying, because I understand the pleasure of honing a craft, of honing a skill, having being the great swordsman. Unfortunately, we live in a day and age where that's obsolete, but it is something still that we strive for in different things. Somebody wants to be the best accountant, the best jiu-jitsu fighter. I totally understand where you guys are coming from.
Well, our modern times don't understand, for example, what is the physically attributes of doing this kind of sport, but also psychological, and also like striving to get better in life, understand life. Yes. So, for example, everyone is saying that violence is wrong. Everyone is saying that aggression is wrong, but people don't know what is aggression, what is violence.
Yes.
So, if, for example, if parents will understand what is violence, what is aggression, they could much more understand their children and how to get them involved in sports that can develop their character. Yeah. And our sport, what we do, and I know that for 100%, any martial art, it can be Jitsu, it can be Aikido, whatever. It can be even sword fighting. Develops character.
100%.
And basically, if you know what you're doing, you make your life better. You understand better life.
I mean, like to add a note to your book is we're preaching to the choir. We're just singing from different backgrounds. Like whether it's jiu-jitsu or any martial art, what happens is a lot of people who are uninitiated, they've never done anything outside their comfort zone. They just sit on a couch, they live their lives, and they judge everything. They think in their mind that they're capable of violence, that they're capable of aggression. What they don't realize is that they're harmless. Their ego is the only harmful thing. Because when you go and you experience, whether it's jiu-jitsu or modern sword fighting, you get humbled. You realize that you're not dangerous, you're harmless. You know what I mean? And that there's levels to this life. It also makes people like, you got to learn teamwork to be able to do what you do. You got to learn to be humble and respectful and have a chain of order, which applies to work, life, family, kids. So this is why I like about what you're doing. Tell me a little bit about the individual side of it. People learning modern sword fighting, whether it's a sword or great sword, how long does it take for somebody to get started in something like this?
Depending, or if only training, they can start even. I start, for example, children from 6-year-old. From 6.
And what do you start them with? Fencing or actual swords?
Actual padded weapons for modern sword fighting that we have actual for that age group.
I see. So it's a shield and a sword.
Shield and a sword is the first weapons, or let's say the tools that you need to learn.
Okay. And then from there, like as they develop, what kind of angles do you go for? Like, do they choose their specialty? Are you, because you're called the Sword Fencing Club.
Yeah. The Swords Fencing Club. It's not how it called fencing. There is the word fencing that everyone in UAE is mentioned as a sports fencing. So the typical Olympic fencing. But fencing can be also applied for sword fighting.
I see. Okay, good clarification.
Yeah, and also it's hard because I needed to translate it to Arabic, and also it's harder to do it, and also to get a legal documents for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the translation is like this, and we didn't give sword fighting because. You never know what people can think and sword fighting. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand. I definitely understand the sensitivity. It sounds like you're you're training killers. But So here's the interesting thing is in sword history, as much as I know, you've got different types. You've got Arabian sword fighting. You have French fencing, literally French fencing. You have Japanese samurai. England has the halberds and the great swords and the steel swords. So Where do you learn these things? Is there an academy that licenses you with these? Is there a specialist that maintain a record of the arts and the motions and stuff?
Okay, so now we are going to the ground of HEMA, Historical
Okay.
European Martial Arts.
Okay.
Basically, historical martial arts, because
Yes.
European is one side. So how this sword fighting discipline evolved? It evolved from textures from history, manuscripts, that teaches actual historical techniques to use this kind of weapon.
So somebody wrote this down.
Every culture has its own manuals to train.
Beautiful.
Everyone.
Okay.
Even I saw lately in Louvre, Abu Dhabi, they have a very nice exhibition about chivalry in different kind of cultures, European culture and Arabic culture.
Okay.
And there are actual manuscripts, historical, from 14th, 13th century, showing pictures how to fight with a Arabian saber, how to fight with a longsword, with a great sword. So from these manuals started all this movement of the sport. And everyone, it's also struggles like old language, where also it's not motion, it's like picture from one technique to the end of the technique, nothing in the middle. So people tried in the 90s to interpret these books to do actual techniques and train that what they trained.
I see.
And this started, and it's developed all the time. Understanding we have more and more now, and we already know how to training Arabian, let's say Turkish Empire saber, Polish saber, English longsword, Spanish rapier, and other ones all from the manuscript. So it's original. We don't. It's nothing that we just thought and let's do it. It's just actual techniques that were learned in past ages.
And are they vastly different from one another, like the motions and stuff, or is there similarities between all of them?
Very, very big similarities, especially, for example, fighting with the katana, Japanese katana and the longsword. Many techniques are very close, and the cultures are very different. They don't know each other.
Interesting. That's fucking incredible, because I have done kendo, right? And my connection to this world was kendo. Kendo taught me many things for jiu-jitsu, which I never even thought about. Like, if somebody told me do kendo to get better in jiu-jitsu, I would have laughed at them. So I did kendo. The next time I did jiu-jitsu after doing kendo, I was much more assertive. I realized the overwhelming factor, and to attack with accuracy and speed, it just overwhelms your opponent and gets them on the defense that they cannot get their footing back in jiu-jitsu. And it was exactly the same in kendo. So this is where I want to start picking your brain. Something interesting about what you said is Japan and England have nothing to do with each other geographically, yet they share common movements with their weapons. But the weapons are different, are they not?
Yeah, very, very different. Well,
the balance, the weight.
Yes, it's depending for what the technique were used. But I think the balance can be almost the same, all close to the hands. Close to the bar. Because in katana there is tsuba.
Yes,
tsuba is the bar. And also with the long sword we have the bar that is close to the arms.
The cross.
And, and I think to wield any kind of weapon is physics. It should be closer to the arms if you want to manipulate it better. But if you want to have a bigger strike, massively, the mass is going upwards. For example, fighting on a horseback, most of the sabers, for example, were tilted with the weight a little bit closer to the tip to have a greater impact when it swings.
Ah, wow. Wow.
Yep.
So, blacksmiths, how important is the role today in these arts?
Oh, very, very. In the beginning, everyone was very because the craftsmanship in the Middle Ages was going from the person to person. Mostly. Less it was written. So when the gunpowder started, the blacksmith's level of craftsmanship go down.
I see.
So in some ages, we just forget about it. And in modern times, it started like in the 90s, I think maybe in the 80s.
To resurface.
Yes, resurface. And now because of the sport, because we bending the sport technical wise and also with the equipment very much. And we are searching the best way to get the best balance of the swords, the best armor that is the lightest. Wow. We are using titanium with our armor.
Whoa, you guys aren't going cheap with this.
Oh, no. And also it's depending from which country. For example, stainless steel will be more American because it's cheaper in America, stainless steel.
I see.
But for example, in Eastern Europe, titanium is cheaper.
Interesting. So it depends where you live, the access to the materials.
And everyone, there are companies now, blacksmiths, that make armor professional.
Just for this.
Yes. Yeah, and also, you don't understand how many technical things are to make the armor lighter. That your movement is better, your breathing is better through the helmet, through the visor.
Sure.
And also the padding or underneath it. Chainmail almost we are not using, but we are using here.
Oh, no.
But sometimes we are using. Yeah. Oh, no. So technical terms that everyone, I think everyone is listening now from
absolutely
understands. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, whether they understand or not, they can relate, because this is a terrifying thing for me. I'm the kind of guy that when I get into something, I like to, if the more gadgets, the better. I love this stuff. Yeah. In jiu-jitsu, we have a belt and a gi. And all of us, we've got like a full closet, because we just love collecting this stuff. You guys, it just takes it to the next level. This can get expensive.
Yeah, we are gathering swords, and we are addicted about swords.
So if I was to open your closet right now, would I be freaked out?
No, because everything is in the club. So
in the club, okay, but but I mean, like, you must have a hell of a big ass collection, considering you've been doing this for many years, right?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, because of me traveling to UAE, unfortunately, I sell all my equipment.
I see. Okay.
Besides one thing, the sword.
How can you let go of that, man?
Yeah. It was the first sword, and also it's not cheap, and also I emotionally connected because it was expensive.
Of course. So how much do these swords go for? Like, what can it reach? What kind of numbers are we talking?
Good kind of swords, for example, for HEMA, because for HEMA is most expensive because of the many technical things that regulation that we must have. In HEMA, if we're speaking in dirhams, it's 1,500 for the long sword.
Interesting. Okay, so we're not messing around.
Oh, no. For example, in Poland, for example, buying swords and buying gear is a little bit expensive because we are not getting a big salary. Yeah, so we must save half a year to get armor, at least armor. Yeah, and not eat.
Yeah, but you're gonna need the food to carry the armor, though.
Oh yeah. So let's say swords 1,500 dirhams, so it's about $500.
Interesting.
Something like this. Yeah, but the armor.
Okay.
So optimal armor, it will be with the weapons, I think 8,000 dirhams.
Holy shit, man! We're talking like serious investment to get into the sport.
Yeah, it's not fencing. Fencing is telling you that we have a most expensive equipment. No.
Wow, and now I understand why this is turning into a big sport, because there's a lot of money in it.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting that you see life in many different facets. It's like a circle. Fashion, jeans, they go out of fashion, they come back, and I really believe culture is something that also operates in a circle. I think we're making a full comeback to historical, not exactly, obviously, with technology, but I mean, you hear it so many times. I wish we lived in those days. I wish we could go back to simpler times. You hear so many people say this stuff.
Oh yeah. I understand them, but some things from history are very nice. For example, linen. Very people in history were using linen, and it's very natural fiber.
I see.
Texture, yeah. For example, I love clothes from the Middle Ages because they are very comfortable, very practical sometimes, And I understand the features that in history, for example, if I have the
I
clothes.
see.
So if there was like a baggy pants from history. I forgot the English term, but they are very comfortable. I would take it everywhere, and also long boots. Loving them from skin.
Sabatons.
So, oh yeah.
I see. You know, man, like for me, when I think of old clothes, I get itchy. I don't know. I just imagine like fibers that are just piercing the skin, and I imagine they weren't so. But I'll take your word for it because I've never gone that far into my thought of simpler days and back then to actually go and explore what they used to wear. How much of this culture exists now in the Middle East? Are you like the pioneer?
You know, I see that, for example, in UAE, they are getting more and more in the heritage of the UAE. Yes.
Yeah, in the UAE, yeah.
Yeah. So I just talking about UAE because I experienced most of UAE.
Sure, but I mean, like in terms of this Hima and modern sword fighting, is this like a fairly new thing here in the UAE?
Oh yeah, very new. It's like we are the first club doing that in GCC, I think.
Incredible. I think in the Middle East, it would be safe to say.
Israel has it, but it's not political. To talk about Israel.
Listen, bro. Listen, I want to say my piece on this. Okay, I'm Palestinian. Listen, I by the way, I have absolutely no hate to individuals. I'll make that clear. So when I say this, I say this in good sport. When I saw the Battle of the Nations, okay, I saw. The first video I see is USA versus Israel, and I fell over laughing. Two countries that didn't even fucking exist during these times and had no knights. No. So when I saw them, you have the knights wearing the US flag, and then the Israeli armor was like, I'm like, man, these guys, man, they didn't even hang out back then.
Oh, God. Yeah, but trust me, if we are going deeper, ancestors of the US guys are European mostly.
They're the OGs, the English, yes.
Oh, yeah. You understand me. And Israel. The Jews were always there. So in Europe, they were always. But just saying. But I want to say something very important.
Sure.
This sport not only makes brotherhood, between people, but also the tensions, political tensions between countries, they're not existing. Even there was a time fighting Ukrainians and Russians.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, and they were not thinking about politics. They are just thinking about the sport. Yeah, mostly. I think they're just thinking about the brotherhood that they are between each other, and it's all about fighting. And afterwards, get a laugh. And also talking about politics, we are not talking about politics a lot in this sport.
That's good, man. We need more sports like that. Like this is something we love about martial arts in general. Is doesn't matter what color, race, gender, politics you come from. You either can definitely. Or cannot fight. That's it.
Oh yeah. This is the thing. For example, with us, not at the beginning, not many girls were fighting. So when some girl fighters were coming up, most of the fights that they were competing in, we was competing with guys.
Wow.
So
this is a mixed gender sport?
Not in general.
Okay.
But when it's but for example, there's not many girls fighters in the tournament. They're allowing girls fight with the guys, and the guys are open with that. Really, they can.
Very cool.
If they want to prove themselves, they can fight. No problem. Yeah.
Very cool. This is the thing. Yeah. So when we look back in culture, the Arab Islamic culture, there was no woman fighting in there. The British, German, there was maybe none. But the culture that had women fighters and shield maidens and all of this were the Vikings.
Not only.
Which ones?
Not only. Spartans.
Ooh, well said. Nice. I love me some Spartans, man. So who were the cultures that had women fighters?
I think it's about the culture. Everyone had it because, trust me, if majority of the army was guys who were defending the villages and the cities.
Good point. Good point. So they wouldn't have reserves left in the city?
Yeah. That's why the Spartans had the idea that also girls should fight because they were defending the city.
Oh.
So I think the same in early cultures, it was very popular to do it that. And also that the women were experienced in this kind of martial art. So
yeah, there was a famous moment in history where I believe it was Leonidas or his predecessor, but when the Athenians were facing a situation. It wasn't when Sparta and Athens were at war. It was when they were fighting together against the Persian army, and the Athenians offered to bring their army. And Leonidas replied, he's like, if we needed you, we'd have sent our women to fight. Because he knew that their woman army would be stronger than the Athenians. Like, it's interesting, man, because this culture of fighting and martial arts today stems and has to nod a little respect to the culture that you're representing. Because without that culture of sword fighting and battles, martial arts would not have come to existence. Because it didn't come to existence because of peace. Martial arts came to existence because of war. The need to defend ourselves. And through that, we discovered that it has a mental side. It has a spiritual side. It is not just combat. When you learn sword fighting, do you complement it? Because you said there's judo throws. So how much unarmed combat do you try to implement?
We are using mixed martial arts. We are using jiu-jitsu throws. We are gathering all useful things to be effective in the, let's say, battlefield.
I like that.
So every technique that is useful, we are doing that. So, for example, there is one technique that's very popular because we have lists. Yeah, lists is just the barriers that makes the arena.
Yes.
And you can grab the fence, the wooden fence, get the guy from the right side, get the front leg forward with it, and simple hip throw down to the ground.
Okay.
So very, very, for example, very efficient for the guys that are experienced and you want just to get the guy down.
Okay.
Yeah, but also there are tactics. For example, how to behave if there is a situation 2 versus 1. Or for example, 2 versus 3, or 4 versus 2.
Okay.
For example, how to react, what to do. Grab the fence or run around or get drop some guy because the guy is standing in front of a body and just run at him and he will fall down because the guy will trip him.
I see.
So yeah.
So you have tactics. You have interesting strategies to get them down.
Oh yeah.
Fascinating, because the rules have changed, the swords aren't sharp. It forces you to bring out new elements to the battlefield that didn't exist in the past too.
Yeah.
I see. And let's talk a little bit about the Sword Fencing Club more, because I really want to understand how this came to fruition. So you were in Poland. You came here to open this, or you came here just for visiting?
I'll tell you. I something learned being here in UAE. It's called, how it's called. Because when I came here, I was searching work because I wanted to be with my, let's say, fiance, with my girlfriend that time.
Okay.
So,
and she was working here?
Yeah. She's still working and was working here. So, to eventually be with her, I needed to come here and also to find something to stay together, like it's a normal relationship, not from abroad.
Understood, yeah.
Yeah. And I struggled to find something for my own, for my background and so on. So we were just thinking, let's do something that you have passion about. Yeah, let's do something that you're experiencing. Okay, let's do a swordsmanship company or club. All right, I need a partner. I found a partner. By the way, greetings if he's hearing, Mr. Ali Kadas, my first partner that helped me to establish.
The man who believed in you.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
It's the history. All the history to make this club happen is like miracle for us. So yeah. And what we need to do a business plan. Find an Emirati partner. If he will be accepting that, let's do it. So Mr. Ali Kadas really helped me to at least do the documents to make it happen formally.
I see. Okay.
The name of the club originated from him. He first named it the Swords Fencing Club.
And he's the only partner?
No, he was the first partner.
I see.
Then we changed it because he told me that no problem, we can change it if somebody will be passionate about. Yeah, because he's a businessman. Yeah.
I see. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and I understand him fully, and it's big thanks for him that he accepted to change partners.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Shout out to Ali, man. That's he's an awesome guy to do this.
Oh yeah, very, very. So he's one of the first that introduced to the club.
Very
And
cool.
also a second partner and full time now, happy with me. Also, he's training with us. First Emirati fighter.
Love it.
Doing that, Mr. Hamdan Alala Fifi.
Man, Hamdan, I know we have a little history with, and
Yeah.
I'm so proud when you say first Emirati fighter in modern sword fighting. That makes me so happy to hear because that's fucking cool. Yeah. And I hope he's doing Arabian sword fighting. Is he doing that?
Oh, he loves saber, Arabic saber. So
yes, Hamdan, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am pushing him to do the armor fighting.
Okay.
We're getting there.
You'll get there, man. But I like. Listen, this is such a big thing for me. I'm a person who is so proud of our history, just like you're proud of your Polish history. Like Poland has an incredible lineage and history. Europeans have beautiful history. Arabs have incredible history. Yet today, we live in an era where so many young Arabs just want to travel. They want to go to the West, America, Los Angeles, and they like abandon their heritage. We have such beautiful heritage, but it got twisted and turned in politics in the last decade. I love to see people like you bringing in heritage from your countries, but also this makes us look at our own heritage clearly as well.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And it's so important for us to hold on to this history. Like, we should never let go of sword fighting. We should never let go of what led us to today, because we can only understand who we are today by staying connected to the past.
Of course.
And man, shout out to Hamdan. I'm happy to hear this. So do you have many Arabs that are in your club now?
Yes. Many nationalities also. It's really mixed. So I cannot determine who is a lot. Yeah, which nationality is a lot.
That's good. That's basically a good sign.
It's UAE. It's UAE. We're all here together. Mixed nationalities, but always improving the country here.
I see. So I'm just seeing on YouTube. I don't usually do this, but on YouTube chat, I see a bunch of guys shouting out. So there's Dmitry Ognev, there's Witcher, which is Hamdan as well, I believe. Doomester, a lot of guys shouting you out. Tell me something, Maciej. I mean, when you started, how do you market? Like, how do you attract people to start? Was it difficult?
It is difficult. It's something new, and we always think with Hamdan how to express it to, especially Emiratis.
Yes.
How to explain it that it's not dangerous. How to explain it it's not fencing, sport fencing. How to show it's martial art. So, even making posts on Instagram, I must think how to write it exactly that people not expected that it's violent. Yes. So it's difficult, but people people search on Google fencing and they see us and they really want to do this, and they see that it's very cool and want to start. And it's really for everyone, for kids, for older people. Doing fencing is very good for maintaining a clear mind. Yes. Also as physicalness, because fencing is. It's from the beginners very good, and for the pros are very good, and you can give it a little bit like less physicalness to get the motor of the body starting. Yeah.
Right.
So it's depending how you train, how training, and depending what the person is fitness level. But everyone can find also the hardness level in that. For example, modern sword fighting, the sport for children. Originally, it's from swordsmanship when people don't want to fight a lot with the armor because it's heavy, because it's
restrictive.
Half an hour. Yeah, and half an hour to get in the armor. It's time exhausting. So it's soft equipment that imitates armor and also padded swords. Beautiful. And with that you can start at least have the movement how to fight, and it's having its own rules. From children, teenagers, adults, older guys, we have a rule book and also rules.
I see. So you've established a way to make it safe and fun for people to start.
Oh yeah.
How many people attend your club, do it for pure fitness, for weight loss? Is this something that's also big with them?
Weight loss, not a lot. Everyone is just for hype for the hits.
I see.
For the stabbing.
I see something very interesting here. We have a big gaming culture and a big anime culture in the Middle East, in the UAE especially. And a lot of these kids, unfortunately, have very bad health habits. If you go and you tell them boxing, jiu-jitsu and stuff, this is too intimidating for them. And they don't like the sounds. It feels annoying and painful. But a lot of them grew up watching these animes and like enjoying these games which involve swords, sabers, great swords, axes. I would really imagine when they see this, they wouldn't look at it as a workout. Their parents, their family and friends, or the mature ones from them, would see it as a means to have fun, doing something that they have some background with, but lose weight because wearing this, hitting, running, rushing, you're sweating your ass off. You're not dry when you're doing this.
Yeah, that's true. Many parents with children that are coming with that, they are pushing the children to have a little bit fitness in their life.
Yes.
So that he can move and something that can interest them, or it's like bind with the hobbies of them. For example, I have some children that are historical geeks and they want also trying to train fighting, with weapons. So we can do that. And also it's very good for like doing any kind of martial art is very good for fitness. But what I want also like tell the parents, also that everyone understands that doing martial arts, doing any kind of sport, is learning grit. You are grinding of the person, to not only get sports achievements, but to grind in character.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, and if parents will understand that, much more than fitness, because if the child is knowing that it means grit, it means to strive to be a better person, he more understands martial arts and basically sword fighting.
100%, man. Like, this is the thing that most parents. I was having this conversation actually yesterday on my podcast with Jose Jr. Jose is a multiple-time world champion in jiu-jitsu, and the guy who's been involved in the programming of jiu-jitsu in the UAE, and now he's doing it in Saudi Arabia. He made such an incredible point. He said, our problem is that our generation starting, and the kids today starting martial arts, sword fighting, all of these, they're lucky, but they have one big shortcoming. Their parents know nothing about what they're doing. So their support mechanism is non-existent. He's like, but these kids and this generation that started martial arts, when they have kids, they'll be like, good job. Are you going to choose the halberd or are you going to choose the saber? Are you going to choose the Arabian or are you going to choose... And when your dad tells you that, it's different. Because for me, I go to my father, hi, Baba, how you doing? Habibi, what did you do? Jiu-jitsu? No, Baba, it's jiu-jitsu. And I've been doing it for how many years? You feel you're on your own. I believe that it's an investment. You're planting seeds that in terms of character, it of course will impact this first generation, 100%. But the real fruit will come out when their kids train, when they have trained. And I can't wait to see, because the UAE is a young country. We are that first generation today that is trying out martial arts, sports, activities, and all of these. And our kids, like I'm sure Hamdan, I don't know if he has kids. It's been a long time, I haven't seen him. But his kids and his kids, that's going to be a game changer, man. These guys are going to be next level. They know the nutrition. They have the gym. They know the culture, everything.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, I think what it's sport terms, because I am talking sometimes also with people about Emirates sport in general.
Sure.
How to develop the country that will be experienced in sports or Olympic champions or something like this. It must get from the fundamentals up.
100%.
So it starts with parents, basically. Not with trainers. It starts with parents, passionate parents that want to encourage sports in their children. And that it's not the supporting like in football that the dad is in the stands and shouting, "Good boy, good boy." It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about that you are playing with the child.
Yeah, 100%.
That you are fighting with the child. That even you are getting the child to the ground that understands what is force.
Mm-hmm.
What is spinning the person to the ground and not having the strength to get up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So this is that. And from that, we are building child, teams, coaches, teams, universities, PE teachers, and the cycle is closing. And the cycle is going on and on. That's why Poland, whatever, other Olympic champion countries have so many Olympic medals, because they have the padding. They have the how to do it, like the circle, like that I told you.
Man, the wheel is moving. Like the whole, it's connecting generations. Poland has had generations of wrestling champions, generations of, like, look at Dagestan. We look at it as an example for grappling, for wrestling and judo. Dagestan has focused its entire government and country on wrestling and sambo.
It's big.
100 years. So today, if you're just born there, everybody is wrestling. So that's why they're getting such a huge thing. Now in the UAE, you're seeing that they put like the pedal to the metal when it comes to sports, because they realize the value sports bring in character, personality, and all. If you have a kid and you want to make sure that they never get into drugs, they never get into alcohol, they never get into all of it, get them a sport. Make sure that they live the sportsman lifestyle, and nobody can convince them otherwise, you know? I'd like to add a point to this is when you can actually beat the shit out of somebody with a sword or with your fists or jiu-jitsu, then definitely nobody's going to screw with your kid.
We have also a discipline that is the side of the international organization.
Yeah.
It's called WMCF. So World Medieval Fighting Championship.
Okay.
And basically it's MMA and armor. I showed you the video.
Yes.
The two guys fighting in the MMA Federation, Russian Federation, called M1 Federation. Okay. So this kind of fighting we have, and it's very close to MMA besides ground techniques. Yes,
I see. Okay.
Because if the guy is on the ground, you can hit him only 3 times, and then judge is taken apart, and he must get up and is fighting.
Okay, and is it point based, or can you knock somebody out?
You can knock somebody out. You can, but in armor fighting, mostly it's your fault because you have wrong armor.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me something, Maciej. When you're training here, do you have a focus on Japanese martial arts as well, like Japanese kendo?
Yes, I'm focusing on. Also, I want to introduce this in our club, but basically, our club is for many types of sword fighting martial arts.
Okay.
Yes, because we start with HEMA, and modern sword fighting is one of the, let's say, cheapest ways to start any sword fighting in the club.
Yes.
With armor fighting, it's a little bit more expensive. With kendo, it can be a little more expensive. But we want to introduce that in our club, but we must wait. We must wait that the corona is ending, we finally get the club starting, and grow the club and give more disciplines to our club.
That's interesting, because when I first learned kendo in Serbia, interestingly enough, I was there for work, and I discovered that the bunch of guys that I work with, and half of the government there trains kendo. I didn't understand why.
Wow. Nice.
And they are absolute killers. They're the European champions. They even won in Japan. So I just took a lesson with them, and it completely changed my mind about kendo. I came to the UAE. Let's go. I want to train kendo. The former kendo club closed. There was no kendo available. And I tried messaging a million people, nothing. So I really I would love to see kendo here, and I hope you guys do it. But I see what you mean about like the setup. It's expensive. It's not easy. Kendo is definitely something. But bamboo swords, not so dangerous, I would say.
No, it's not dangerous. Basically, there are a couple of hits, because it cannot be. Kendo is not full contact fighting.
Yeah.
It's basically hits of the palms, of the top of the head, and also the slashes to the body, and that's all. Yeah,
exactly.
So I like leg hits.
Who doesn't, man? Absolutely, who doesn't? You brought up something interesting, which is the Corona time. So we're suffering this as Jiu-Jitsu community because we say like the only thing that they're going to bring back with Jiu-Jitsu is open heart surgery because we're like on top of each other, breathing on each other. Modern sword fighting doesn't strike me as a super close contact. Like it can be, but you could restrict yourself from getting too close. Is it still risky training it during these times?
Not really. If it's very similar to sport fencing, that it's apart. So hit and apart, or hit couple of times and apart. So it's not. It's depending on the rules, but it can be developed that nobody will grapple.
Yeah, and are you wearing these like fencing masks?
We are wearing special modern sword fighting masks, helmets. Okay. If we need to stab with the saber, the soft saber that we have, we use the fencing mask to protection of the face.
So maybe you can like add a face mask into the fencing mask.
Like lately I showed you from one company that make a development of the mask inside. Perfect. That prevents you from the disease going out. So
does it screw with your breathing? Makes it more difficult to breathe?
They said that it's like the restriction of CO2 is normal. So
yeah,
I think it's okay with breathing.
Man, I would definitely be interested in trying this out when this whole thing goes over. Like, I definitely think it would be fun to bring some jiu-jitsu guys over and sort of crossing, checking notes with each other. We can learn from you guys with the swords, and we can add some grappling techniques to see what would work with the swords. I think that would be a lot of fun to do.
Oh yeah, you can guys go. I will give you equipment, the soft equipment.
Yeah,
and you can try out. No problem. We have the mats.
Yeah. Are you using? Is it grappling mats that you're using?
No, the basic foam mats. I don't know if it's for grappling. So they're like 2 centimeters thick.
Okay, so not exactly grappling. Like these are like the puzzle ones you're talking.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about.
And where are you guys located in Abu Dhabi?
Downtown Abu Dhabi, Al Duwai 21 Street, ADCP Tower D.
You know this way better than I am. Is this Khaldiya?
No. It's Electro Street.
Electro Street. Okay, cool. And
like beginning from the Abu Dhabi Mall, Electro Street.
I see. An ADCB building.
ADCP building, Tower D.
How many square meters is this place?
We have about, just for fighting, it's 80 square meters.
Oh, okay. So decent. How many people do you train per class?
Maximum that we had, it was 7.
Okay, 7. So there's one guy not fighting, or is that you?
No, no, me.
Okay.
But we can fight. We can arrange everything that will be ideal for 10 people.
Man, interesting. So, have you ever done any demonstrations in public?
Yes. Yeah. What we done at Hamdan Academy, a military academy. Okay. We done the HEMA presentation, and the response was quite nice. But only one Emirati came.
I see. As a result or for the event?
I think as a result of that event.
I see. No, but I mean, like, you guys should be in a mall beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, we know. But most of these events, like money is very big issue about this, that we must pay for that,
Of course.
And we don't have the money for doing that.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, my friend. I'll definitely hook you up with some people because
please.
Malls are just dying for activation right now. Right?
Good.
They'll fucking give you space for nothing just to get people watching, man, because that generates sales. But
please.
I definitely I would like to see this because, man, my son. Oh my God, man! If my son, he's 4 years old. If I take him to the mall and he sees guys beating the shit out of each other with soldier seals, it'll be impossible for me to tell him no. Like, there's no fucking way you can convince my son that he'll definitely want to do it. He's like, I need to hit somebody and keep a few swords, let them beat the shit out of you, and they're fucking hooked. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah.
So what are your future plans?
Future plans? Expand.
Okay.
Dubai.
Yes.
We are starting in Dubai sessions in one sports facility. expand to other countries in the GCC, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. There are people coming from Saudi Arabia and Kuwait to train with us. Wow. So yeah, and the response in Saudi Arabia is very cool. People are really liking it. They want to come and just to see how to fight with Arabian sword.
Man, we have a fighting culture. Like it's evident.
I see that.
The MMA, UFC, Jiu-Jitsu, you guys, what you're doing. Like, it's clear people want to fight here. It's not out of aggression. They have it in their culture.
But this is the thing. They want to watch, not to compete.
Also, some. You'd be amazed, man. You'd be amazed. Like,
I hope.
I tell you what, Maciej, I agree with you because in the beginning, most people that like these sports, and by the way, if you just watch any of my interviews, 90% of my guests, world champions, huge names, their childhood, they were introverts. They were shy. These are
like
the people. You see what I'm saying? Like me. We tend to be the people that run towards these things because it gives us this identity, there's something to be proud of, and it allows us to be extroverted. When we start off introverted, you don't know what's your thing. You don't want people to judge you. You have so many things. You're saying people like to watch. I agree, but they need a guide. They need something. When they train jiu-jitsu, as an example for me, and I'm sure you've experienced this, we just teach them one technique that they can get out of a shit position. Their eyes light up and like, shit. You can feel the bug went up their ass and that's it. It's not coming out.
One technique that I really like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's getting out from the guillotine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Rolling to the back. I don't know how this technique's called. Sorry, everyone. That is from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I understand.
If the guy didn't yet close the guard with the legs.
You're talking on the ground. Yeah, you can roll over.
Yeah. Roll over. Yeah.
Brother, I'm gonna teach you some setups. I'm gonna let them roll over and fuck them if they roll over. But absolutely, man. This is the thing. Like, guillotine is a great example you brought up because in a street fight, somebody that doesn't know jiu-jitsu might catch you in a guillotine. They don't even know they have a guillotine because a lot of people rush each other, right? And they drop their head. That's a recipe for disaster. So they grab the head and they'll hold it. Most people don't know what to do. If you just show them what to do, suddenly they feel safer on the streets and their character changes.
Yeah, that's true.
I like that. I like that. You can... Modern sword fighting is a gateway to self-defense.
Of course. It is self-defense.
It is self-defense, but like on the street, you don't have a sword and shield. But while you're training sword and shield, you eventually grapple. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. I will tell you one thing. One of the forgotten techniques that everyone didn't know that it exists, fighting with a stick. Right. So in the 19th century manuals from America, there was books that shows how to fight with a stick. And it's like techniques fighting with a saber. The same thing.
Love it.
Yeah, and for example, somebody is pointing gun at you and he will have a stick. Hit to the open palm, for the palm that is with the fingers pointing at you.
Yes.
So there are forgotten techniques, forgotten martial arts that is very useful for self-defense.
You reminded me of The Walking Dead. Have you watched that TV show?
Not really, but some parts.
So there's a character in The Walking Dead who his weapon becomes the stick, and he was stuck alone for a long time with his kid and no human interaction, and he had with him what you're talking about, like this manual of stick fighting. So he comes into it scared and weak, and then he comes out a killer with this stick. So I totally understand. Speaking of which, Game of Thrones. Okay. How much money did your people make because of this? Because man, I'm sure they had to hire a lot of people that knew what the hell they're doing with swords.
First of all, the techniques that used in that series are BS.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I knew it, man. Like, cause when I watch movies today, my wife hates watching any action movie with me because I'm always pissed off. I'm always like, oh, fuck this, man. In 2020, they don't know how to fight, So I'm sure for you it's the same.
Yeah. It's like The Witcher also.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because Witcher's recent. Like they should have gotten it right.
Yeah. And also there are plenty guys in Poland that know how to fight properly with a sword. Yes.
Wow.
So it's all show, because swordsmanship, you need only effective two techniques to kill someone. Yes,
I
but
see.
in
So
the
that's the
show,
problem.
you must get some action points to get people interested in the series.
Has to be
So this
drama,
is
man.
oh
Jon
yeah.
Snow has to cry a little bit for the girls and move his hair. Like, it's important.
Yeah, of course.
Shit.
Pop culture, man.
Man, damn it. But I mean, like, I was so
Yeah.
hoping that you'd be like, yeah, they represented the culture good. Shit.
I have no agenda.
I see. No, because I was on a flight back home. I was on a 5-hour flight on Etihad. And if they still have it, if they reopen flights one day, be sure to check it out. Like on a flight, they have documentary section. And in it, they have a 2-hour video of how Game of Thrones, the last season, was made. And they go into how they hired and set up the battles. Man, it is an army. Like, what they did to create the scenes and stuff is crazy. But I imagined, like, they should have gone to people like you.
I'll tell you one thing about these battles in the Game of Thrones.
Yes, please.
The battles itself, for example, the Battle of the Bastards.
Yes.
Was very realistic.
Okay, cool. Okay. The
not
strategy,
not
you mean?
about not about the techniques that they are using the swords, because who is going to the cavalry with a longsword and a one only? So just saying. But
a brave motherfucker. That's also stupid.
It's very stupid. Trust me, it's very stupid. Okay. Because the guy should first of all do it with the archers, kill him, not with the cavalry. So never mind.
I'm taking notes. Okay.
Yes, please. But the battles itself, the crushing each other, the forcing them to be close to each other, is very realistic. And also the cavalry, like hitting the guys, the force that between each other, the CGI that they play was very realistic. So hats off for that, for the guys from the CGIs.
Wow, man, and it's beautiful to see, because like, what's the King Arthur? That movie, very impactful for me. I love that movie. Then you have Game of Thrones. You have so many, like, man, what is that one based on Jerusalem, the Crusades, the famous
Kingdom of Heaven.
Thank you. One of my favorite movies in history.
Also.
The Last Samurai. Man, I come from Palestine, so I have a huge pride in Jerusalem and all of the history in it. Like, everything you're saying is like reaching to me, because this is my culture too.
I was in Jerusalem on a tournament. You didn't even imagine how I felt going to a sword fighting armory tournament to Jerusalem.
You had an event in Jerusalem?
Yes.
Where?
Yes.
Which area?
I forgot the area. I will not tell you. It's a little bit outskirts of the downtown, of the hillsides.
Okay, I got you.
It was in a historical also place, like a, how it's called, Skansen? No, it's in Polish. Heritage place. And there was like a tournament organized. And shout out to Misha Margulis, to one of the organizers and fighters from Israel that helped me also to fight there. I was in Tel Aviv with him.
Listen, you want to do something on the Bethlehem side? All right. You want to do an event there? You let me know, because my family runs the largest convention center in Bethlehem.
Oh, great.
So we have if you know the Solomon Pools, the historic site.
Don't remember.
Next to the church in Bethlehem, there's Solomon Pools, which is the place that used to feed, like, all the water and everybody's reserves was from there in Bethlehem. So right next to it, we have a convention center with a huge field. I think that would be an insane battlefield environment.
Great.
You'll shit yourselves.
Oh yeah. In Jerusalem, I also were in the old part of Jerusalem. So I was on the Temple Mount. I was near the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Mosque on the Rock. So
isn't it incredible, man, that, like, being there and feeling history in your oxygen, like, as you breathe, you feel like you're breathing the oxygen of ancient people.
Also, as a Christian, I also read the Bible, and for me the place was real. Not only I read it,
you were there.
I am there.
Yes.
I can touch. So the history, my heart was buzzing. It was first time, so
Man, it was unbelievable. I think something that I hope everybody experiences in Jerusalem is going there and talking to the people in the churches and the mosques and such. Because, for example, not many people know this, but the church in Jerusalem, the Judgment Church, on the doors, every day the doors are locked and reopened early in the morning. And the family that is in charge of locking and reopening them has been the same family for over 8 generations now.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Nusayba family. It's a Muslim family. So what happened is when the Ottoman Empire overtook Jerusalem, right? And they expelled the British, the British army and the Romans. So during that time, the Christians feared that the Ottoman Empire would take over the church or do some damage or something like that, which they didn't. But right before the Ottoman Empire fully took over, they handed over the keys of the church to the Nusayba family to safeguard it. So, and in the end, the Ottoman Empire respected, obviously, this church and didn't even dare touch it.
Yeah.
But until today, the keys of the church are entrusted to a Muslim. And vice versa. Al-Aqsa Mosque, this is something my family is very involved in. My father has been a patron of the churches and the mosques in Jerusalem for a long time. And when Al-Aqsa has any situations, any risk on it, the Christians, the Catholic and the Orthodox churches always stand up for them because of this bond that they have. It's incredible. Like when you go and you understand this culture, it goes beyond combat and fighting, it goes into respect, it goes into chivalry, into tradition. It's unbelievable, the history.
Because of the history, because of the struggle, because of people learning from the mistakes, from the failure.
Yes.
So this is also one virtue that everyone must learn.
I love it, man. And listen, I'm so happy to have this conversation and be able to talk to people like you. I'm excited to see what you're up to, and hopefully after this pandemic is over, we should do something and blend our worlds with each other. The jiu-jitsu and the modern sword fighting. Have some fun.
You know, I had one session at one Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training center in Dubai.
Nice.
Shout out to Douglas, the trainer there.
Yeah, Gracie Baha.
I don't remember the surname, but Douglas.
Okay. Yeah, I think Gracie Baha, Silicon Oasis.
Oh, Silicon Oasis. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
shout out to Gracie Baha. Nice.
Yeah. So we had a session there with modern sword fighting. I don't know if you saw the video.
I didn't.
Yeah, there is. It's on my Instagram profile.
I'll check it out.
The club.
Sure.
Yeah. So
did you like it? Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah. The guys were grappling me on the waist, throwing me down. I throwing them. Lots of fun.
Amazing, man. That's it, man. I think we have more to gain from learning from each other. Like people that close their mind to one thing. It's good that they try things, but you should always keep your mind open. And we have a famous guy in Jiu-Jitsu, Hickson Grayson. He said the brain is like a parachute. It doesn't work unless it's open. And I definitely think in this situation we have a lot to learn from each other. So I'm really happy to have you on the show. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, great time, really.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in on YouTube. Witcher, I see you, brother. Hussein Husseini, welcome, man. You got a lot of people that's showing you love as well on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you guys tomorrow with a very interesting guest. We have Yara Kakish from Jordan, female black belt Jordanian national team. Be sure not to miss that out tomorrow. Thank you so much, Maciej. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Great.
See you guys.